this is what happens when you get sidetracked for other projects on the homestead. You get swamped in milk. All those jars, that's all milk. And something I have to deal with today. Well, good morning and welcome to our homestead. So today we have a lot of milk to deal with. What I'm making is yogurt today. And I like to use my Instapot for this. And I'm going to show y'all step by step how I do it. Now, a few pointers with making yogurt in your Instapot. You do want to heat it. Like, you do want to pasteurize your milk. I was definitely one of the ones that was like, no, you don't have to do that. But trust me, if you want the best yogurt, you're going to want to pasteurize it. So what we're going to do is I will pour the milk into my Instapot, and then we will be heating it to 170. And I'll just kind of show y'all as we do things.
That is a lot.
And you want to make sure, see this cream line? I don't know if you can really see it too well. Definitely want to make sure you scrape out all that beautiful cream. Look at all that.
Beautiful cream? That's nice. Said that.
Normally I use about a gallon of milk when I make my yogurt. But because we had so much, I do like to fill it up to the max line in my Instapot there. Alright, to get this heated, you are going to push just your saute button, and you're going to leave the top off. And you're going to stir it regularly. You know, probably every few minutes, making sure that it is not sticking to the bottom. And that, you know, it's not scalding or anything. And then you're going to check your temperature often as well. And like I said, you want to bring it to 170. So we're right there almost. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off and just let the residual heat that's in here, because 167 is not a bad temperature for this. So you're just going to turn it off, unplug it, and then you're going to let it set until it cools down to 110. So we are almost right at 110, just barely under, you can see. Alright. So now I am going to be adding in some of the yogurt from the last batch that I made. Because of the amount we have in here, I probably will be adding about a half a cup or so. I'm just going to give that a good stir. Make sure that it incorporates really well. And then the last step is just put your lid on it. You're just going to put the lid on it, and you're going to let this sit for 8 to 10 hours, just sitting on the counter. So here it's been sitting roughly about 9.5 hours. And I'm just going to remove the lid and kind of give y'all a quick peek of what it looks like. It's kind of really hard to tell how thick it is here, but you'll get a better look here in just a few seconds when I go to strain it. So when I strain mine, I just use a big pail, the big pan like this, because I'm going to have a lot of whey that's going to drain off of this. And then I'll add a strainer in. And here you can use cheesecloth if you want. I like using just one of my cloths that I usually use for making cheese and yogurt and such. And then you're just going to pour it off in there. So you can really tell how thick this already is. But this is more of a drinkable consistency of yogurt. And so I actually prefer it, actually all of us would prefer it to be much thicker, kind of like the Greek yogurt kind of style. And I ended up having extra. Here you can see what it looks like. Now you're going to want to cover this. I just like to use this little plastic lid, and I'll just gather up the sides of everything and tuck it up around it. That way too, if the whey does soak through, it doesn't really drip into everything else and end up making a huge mess. So here they both are, just happily sitting in the refrigerator until tomorrow, and I will come back and show y'all tomorrow what I'm gonna do with them to finish everything off. So it's the next morning, and the yogurt has been sitting for about 12-ish hours, and I'm gonna show y'all the big difference that it makes when you actually drain the whey off of it from it. So look at this, look how thick that is. Isn't that awesome? That is just beautiful looking at that. And I have 2 containers, so we're gonna have a lot. So I like to store mine just in glass jars. And we should fill up probably at least 3, if not 4 of these quart jars. And we'll see. So we ended up with 2.5 quart jars. We would have had 3, but my little boy decided he wanted some yogurt as I was dishing it out. And I will store the yogurt. Just like this. You know, completely plain, no additives in the refrigerator. And we like to add things like honey and maple syrup, or even jams and jellies to it to flavor it up. So making yogurt is not that hard, really. You just need good milk, something to heat it in, and a culture, and just let it sit. So once you strain this, though, you're going to end up with whey. See, look at all that yummy whey. That's all that you drained off. Now this is considered a acid whey, so you would not be able to make ricotta from it. Normally the acid wheys like this, I'll either save them for putting in pasta water, putting for bread when I'm making bread or other stuff, just kind of replacing water. I will feed this to my garden or my compost pile because it feeds the microbes in there, which in turn will feed your plants. Or a lot of times I will just give it to my chickens. And today that's probably what's going to happen, is I'm just going to split it between the chickens and the garden. So there's like just a million uses for whey. Normally I would keep it and use it for other stuff, but I'm going to be making cheese, and so I'm going to be making a sweet whey from the cheese that I'm going to be making today. That goes for making ricotta. So I just decided I wasn't going to keep it today because I usually end up with so much. It's just insane. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope y'all try this recipe out. If you like it, let me know. If you do something different with it, I would like to know too. And y'all have a good day. Bye.